And if not, and if not, the Lord is still good. And if not, the Lord is still good. I feel like lately, I've just been like at a crossroads in my life. And I'm really beginning to feel the end and the beginning of a lot of things simultaneously. I was watching a video and it was of Lana Del Rey, and Lana Del Rey was like, I wish that somebody would have told me that at every ending there was a beginning. And naturally, right? Naturally, one would also agree. But I think in the moment you just don't feel that stuff. You don't feel all that stuff. When you leave a career, when you leave a friendship, when you leave whatever, you don't feel the other part coming on. And I just feel like a lot of a lot of things that used to give me security or a sense of security in my younger days. In in my fucking younger days, bro. Like I would say like yeah, before like I'm beginning to feel like the grown woman. My brain is developing, my body's catching up to my brain or vice versa, whatever. And I'm beginning to just feel things and to see things and to look at things and interpret things in such a different light that I never did before. And I don't know if this video is ever going to find any any young women. Like any young women like 15, 16 years old, 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old. What's actually crazy is that I swear maybe it's just me, maybe it's not, but I just feel such a vast difference in everything than how I felt at 19, than how I felt at 20, than how I felt at 23. Like everything about you just changes and it just constantly changes. And I know like that's life. We never stop evolving. We never stop physically changing, but it's so weird. Like it's so weird that maybe this feeling comes upon different women at very different times and very different stages of their lives. But it's the craziest thing when I say that we never stop changing. What's so odd to me is that like I'll be washing my hands in the sink, whatever. I look up at myself and I'm like, whoa, that's a grown woman. I was like, yo, what the? I'm not 16. I'm like, what the fuck? When did that happen? That's crazy. And I don't mean that in the sense of like, like bills and stuff like that. I don't know how to. You really start to like morph into like relatives, And I just think that that's like the most interesting thing that literally just one day you wake up and things are so different. Your perspective, your eyesight, everything about you is so different. And okay, in terms of that stuff, I'll say that and then I'll move on. If this video ever finds any 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, even 23-year-olds, dude, I swear to you, what's crazy is that like a lot of people will tell you that like that's the prime of your life. That's the prime of your life. I don't feel that way. And what's really, really weird is like now when I look at pictures of myself when I was younger, I was like, dang, I was low-key a baddie. Shoot. Like, you're at a weight that shit now might be your goal weight, but like, whatever. There's just certain things that I think you think now that you're like, damn, I should have appreciated that when I had it. And it's like when you look back on those ages, bro, I like at least for me, I fucking hated myself like at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I'm like, I'm gonna keep counting, bro. And I don't know, it's just like you wake up one day and things are just so different. You know? I went to I went to the Grand Canyon for the very first time in my life, which is a crazy thing to say because I am from Arizona. When I went, dude, it was the most mind blowing, beautiful experience ever in my life. It brings out this level of introspection in you that for me was always the beach. It was never a canyon. It was never the earth like in that way, you know. It was just always the beach. For me, it was just always one place, and I thought for the rest of my life it's always just going to be this one place that brings me solitude, that brings me a sense of calmness and peace and reassurance and a level of grounding that I just cannot get from anywhere else. Going to the Grand Canyon, I mean, visually magnificent. Visually magnificent. You see these freaking like eagles flying all over the place. You see wildlife living in the way that is, you know, like the wildlife being wild. You see just the vastness of the sky of the canyon and the colors and how so precise everything is. Like, it's kind of great. Like, how does that like that? I don't know, I can't even put it into words, but it's just like the more you look at it, the more you notice, and you can stare at it for hours and hours and hours, and you just get so lost in the visuals that it's transcendent. But there's also the spiritual factor that's involved, where it just provokes so much emotion from you, like that of a painting, like that of a sculpture, like that of the vastness of the ocean. It just completely transmutes, whatever type of distress that you're bringing there to the canyon. It's like you leave with a sense of freedom. And I don't know, I'd never thought that that was going to be possible, you know? And let that be a lesson to me, because I allowed other people's opinions of the Grand Canyon to mold my own. The only reason why I never went to the Grand Canyon was because people's complaints, right? You hear from a lot of people who live in Arizona. They will tell you like, "Oh, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of gas. It's a waste of miles on your car. You have to do this, you have to do that. It's not worth it." You get there and you're like, "Oh, this is boring. I'm just gonna go back." You might as well just go do something else. Yeah, never again. Never again. If I want to do something, I'm just gonna do it, dude. I'm not gonna wait for people. I'm not gonna wait for permission. You just gotta do things and see if you like it. If you don't, just don't go back. It's not a big deal. Who cares? I do the same shit at restaurants. When I don't enjoy a restaurant, you know what I'm doing? I'm not talking to the manager. I'm just never fucking going back there ever again, bro. Easy. I don't know why I just didn't fucking apply that same thing to like experiences. I didn't like my experience here. I'm sure I'll have a better experience elsewhere. I don't know why that thought process is not transferable in my brain to like other situations. I don't know why, like, my shit's just not computing, I guess. But man, the Grand Canyon was beautiful, dude. Like, energetically, I felt so delicious and cleansed and charged. It's just so beautiful, dude. I can't believe I went my whole life without going to the Grand Canyon. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you another thing about May, dude. The amount, the amount, the amount of post-yap clarity, the amount of post-yap clarity has been astronomical. It's been fucking terrible. I it's this damn super moon or whatever. Like, what is it? The full moon in Sagittarius, bro. Yikes. Yikes, dude. You ever just like say something like, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have like told you all my secrets just to keep the conversation going, bro." Like, bro, I hate fucking lore dropping too. Like, I like it, but I hate it. I like it because, like, when somebody else lore drops and then you lore drops, like, there's kind of like a good, like, there's like kind of like a good vibe going on. But then it's like when you lore drop, bro, and then the other person is just like fucking clenching their lips, bro, clenching their embouchure like this shit. Well, I'll be damned. Well, I'll be damned. Dude, that's like the worst fucking feeling ever when you lore drop and somebody just fucking leaves you undelivered in person. Is the way. That's the worst feeling, bro. And I hate that I do it. I do it compulsively at the fucking grocery store, bro. I'll just be like chopping it up with the lady scanning my food items, and she'll tell me something, and I think we're cool, and I just say something, and I regret it immediately. I regret it. Oh my god. Ugh. Or do you ever lore drop like to a stranger? The shit. Oh my god, I'm trying to remember like a specific example, but it has happened to me of like a few times before, where you just lore drop because you think like this is a safe space, like we're girls, right? And then like they're friends with your op, and you're like, ah, I should have never told you my mother's maiden name, bro. Just to keep the fucking combo going, you're like, I I'm gonna make it a point this week to go to the movies. I keep telling myself that like I single handedly gotta keep this film industry alive. I need to be a consumer as well as a contributor, but consumer mainly, right? Dude, I'm actually really hyped that there's all these like new original movies coming out. I'm actually really excited for that. The last movie that I did see that like you know what? I'll give it credit because it's a biopic. I'll give it credit there. A e, e, remakes though. Remakes, not a fan. Not a fan of any remakes. Not a fan of any movies where they're just dragging it out way too fucking long, like what the hell do I care about freaking Fast and the Furious 18? You know what I mean? Like come on, bro. It was good while it was good. Enough. I Okay, biopics different though, you know? And even with that conversation of biopics, I've heard some stuff, where they're like, they didn't have any, like, what the, like, if somebody were to make, like, a freaking movie about my grandma, like, that's my grandma, bro. Like, who is she to you? Why are you trying to reserve the rights to anything? That shit would piss me off, genuinely. Like, I don't know the full process for all that kind of stuff or, like, the legalities. All I know, all I fucking know is if you try to make a movie about my life, bitch, let me make a movie about my life. At the very least, like, at the very least, bro, like, let one of my brothers do it or something like that. You know what I mean? I just feel like sometimes with biopics, bro, it's just like you don't even know who these people are. And you just like, he had a dream. And when he had a dream, and like, it's like the movie just shows them to be different, like personality wise. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I would feel if I passed and somebody just made a movie about my life and you didn't know me at all. Never read any of my journals. Like, didn't watch shit of anything I've ever created ever in my life. Didn't read any of my plays. Like, you don't know my psyche. And then you're just gonna make a movie. Let me fucking find out that the fucking main character, bro, talks like this. Like, Abuela, what are we to do? What are we to do? You know I was fucking loca, dude. You know I was fucking loca. We gotta keep this dream alive for the raza. And it's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I feel like stuff like that would piss me off. Like, you don't even know my dialect. You don't know my psyche. You don't know my favorite color. And you're out here trying to get clout off of my name. It, it. Okay, going back, though, to Michael Jackson. I actually really like the movie. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what type of controversy was behind it. I don't know about any of that stuff. I'm just saying, as a consumer, I like the movie. I think Jafar Jackson did a phenomenal job, bro. It was so, like, the voice was crazy. Because I'm somebody who does not know much about Michael Jackson. I just remember when I was growing up, I remember, like, it was a really big deal that he passed. But, like, that wasn't the music that we had in the house growing up. Like, if anything, I maybe heard, like, a song or two where I was like, ooh, I'm feeling this. But honestly, nah, I mean, it wasn't until like after the movie that I started to get into his music that I was like, oh, okay, hold on. Like, um, Human Nature I really liked. Uh, and then there was another song, I don't remember it. But no, I'm not gonna front and be like, yeah, I listened to Michael Jackson my whole life. Like I didn't, but I can appreciate it. But I'm just saying, like, this movie for somebody like me who, like, I don't know, like I knew who he was, but I didn't grow up listening to the music in the house, that type of thing. I really liked it. I really liked it. I really liked his performance. I really liked. I mean, from the interviews that I've seen of Jafar, he was saying that he wasn't much of an actor. Bro, Oscar worthy. Like, that's crazy to me that you have that much talent to just be doing that without, like, that's crazy to me that you could pull off that type of performance is insane. I can only imagine, like, the level of work involved and stuff like that. But I mean, like, things that stood out the most to me, his voice. His voice, like, his speaking voice was crazy. I loved how, like, soft it was, and that was really cool. And his facial expressions. Because I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but like, have you ever thought about like, I wonder if I could be an actor, and then you record yourself doing like a snip of like a movie, and then you play that shit back, and you're like, oh, oh no, oh no. And you just gotta grieve a dream because you know you're not talented enough. That shit to me, dude. I've always wondered. I'm like, could I be an actor? You think I could be an actor? My friends are all fucking glazing me. They're like, yeah, bitch, you lie all the time. No, I'm just kidding. But like, you ever done that shit and you like you play it back, and you're like, let me see what type of talent I'm working with, and it's just absolute dog water, absolute lack of talent. It humbles you so bad. Oh, but otherwise, yeah, I really like the movie. I want to see more original movies though. I hope that they continue to make more original movies. I don't even care about the quality. I'm as a consumer, I'm willing to be very forgiving about the quality if it's just an original storyline. I don't want to see any more remakes. I'm tired. I feel like the world is tired. They're fatigued. They have remake fatigue. And it's not just that, but I just feel like there's just like a bigger conversation around remakes, that I'm not particularly a fan of. I think not all remakes are bad though. But I don't like that, like, that's primarily what's in theaters. And then people will try to get all like crazy about like, well, people aren't in the seats. People aren't going to the movies. They don't want it. They don't blah, 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 blah. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't be blaming the consumer, bruh. Don't be blaming the consumer just because you want to make a damn freaking remix, bro, of a board game movie. Like, be so freaking for real. Be so for real with yourself. That is not why you did not kill at the box office. Oh, bro, and this is my thing, right? I kind of hate critiquing stuff like that because a project is a project. I feel bad about that because a project is a project. Like, like people still worked on that. People still did lighting. People still did design. People still did, directing. People still, they still did all this contribution to make the picture look good. And I don't want to put those efforts down. I'm just saying, from a consumer POV, I want to see less remakes. Not all remakes are bad. I'm just saying, just pump the brakes a little bit. Whatever you're going to put into a remake, produce like 10 different indie films. Bus Boys. I really liked that movie. And it wasn't just because I'm a fan of Theo Von and I like David Spade too. It was just because it was funny and because it was just different from anything that I've seen. That was refreshing to me. I don't even care like how, like, what you're looking for in a picture. I just liked what I was seeing. It gave me vibes of oh my god, no, this is niche, bro. But like, like when you get in a groove, I guess now would be the equivalent to like Instagram and TikTok, but I don't know, whatever. Before like Vines, You know when you would just like doom scroll and you would just laugh. Like I remember just being on that app and freaking laughing for hours at a time. The algorithm was so juicy, it was just like one after the other, after the other, after the other. And you would just be dying in your room laughing freaking 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's those good vibes that Busboys gave me, in my opinion. I was fucking slapping my knee in the audience, bro, because it just like you could feel the heart through the screen, you know? Like that movie, like I could tell when they were writing this that they were probably laughing their asses off. Like they probably couldn't even get through like a live reading. And from a writer POV, that's the best feeling in the world. I don't know if that, was them, but I know like from a creator standpoint, there have been times where I've written scripts and I don't even care if it doesn't make it to whatever. I'm unattached to the outcome. I've done table readings where we can't even get through the second page. We're just dying. But that's also what we need in the world, you know? I don't want to see a dang freaking like I said, like I feel bad I keep using that movie as a reference, but like damn, fucking Fast and the Furious 15, bro. Like I'm tired of it. I'm sick of that movie now. No, I do not want to see you freaking go to outer space, bro. Like what the fuck? Yeah, I also feel like from a deeper standpoint, my theory on why remakes there's just such a fatigue of it. I feel like it's really really important that society as a whole continue to put out more original films and more original plots and things like that because I think film is such an important medium into teaching people empathy. Actually, I get confused between sympathy and empathy, but like I'm gonna say empathy because I do think it is really important. Like there are certain movies where I'm like, wow, I did not even know that, and you leave the theater with a completely different experience than your own. You learn, I don't know, like you watch a drama about a scuba diver, you watch a drama about a pilot, you watch a movie about I don't know, like a historical event, but it's from a specific point of view. You watch a movie about I don't know, something, but you just leave with a completely different point of view than your own. That's really important, I think, into showing us as a society how to exercise the muscle of empathy. I feel like with remakes, and again, this is just my opinion, I feel like there's such an exhaust, but I also feel like it's weakening that muscle as a society for us. Because you've already seen it, you know? You're not paying attention to what's going on. You're not paying attention to the plot. You're not paying attention to how the way that the characters feel. You're not paying attention to any of it because you've already seen it before. You've seen it 50 different times in your living room. You already know how the movie ends. So it's like why would you want to go pay as a family, like realistically speaking, like if you are somebody who's a mom who has kids, or if you're just a super tired and overworked Gen Z person with 3 fucking jobs, why do you want to go spend $50 at the movies, dude? All I know is that going to the Grand Canyon, why now? Why now at this point in my life? Why now at this point in my life? Did I finally get to enjoy something that was just right in front of me the whole time? Why is it that just now in my life? And I just kept thinking and thinking and thinking about that. And I really feel like it was almost like it was divine timing. That's what I do feel. It has to be. There's no way that it's not. There have been so many times that I could have gone to the Grand Canyon and I was like, "Nah, I'm not going to go." I've been invited out. My family's invited me many times when they've gone. I don't feel like it. No thanks. Like there's just been so many different chances that I've had to go to the Grand Canyon when I was younger and I just never went. But I'm really, really, really glad. I'm really thankful that that time was now because I personally think that I don't think I would have been able to have the level of gratitude that I do have for it now in any other time of my life previous to now. I just don't think I would have been capable of it. Like I think when I was younger, I definitely had more of an entitled way of of going about experiences. And I mean, it was a privilege to have gone, you know. I like privileges like that. I really feel like when I was younger, I definitely would have had like more of an entitled point of view, where I really probably would have been impatient. I would have been like, okay, well, let's just go. Like, this is boring. But now I don't. Now I just have such a different take on that experience as a whole, and I'm very grateful to have gone when I went, you know? And I feel like I just have to hold on to that. I just have to hold on to that because there are so many other different things in my life where I want it to happen already. Like, I want to just be immersed in it already, and I'm like, why hasn't it happened yet? It's happened for other people. How come it hasn't happened for me yet? And I just feel like my mind keeps gravitating toward the Grand Canyon, that I had to go through other things to be able to get to a place where I genuinely came from a point of view, genuinely came from a standpoint of sincerity and gratitude, where I was just really able to just soak up all of it, to soak up all the beauty, to soak up, you know, who am I there with? I'm there with friends that love and that care about me. That in itself is a privilege. That's a gift. That's a blessing. I'm I'm there, and I like the way that my makeup looks when we're taking pictures there at the Grand Canyon. That's also another thing. You know, like there's all these small things that are really big. And I just I just feel like I keep holding on to that lesson very tightly to me, that it's not if these things happen that I want to have happen. It's 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 when they're gonna happen for me, you know? So I'm very grateful to that. I'm very grateful to, you know, to my friends, to my family. I'm very grateful for a lot of different things going on for me right now. But I'm just trying to have more faith, I think. And I'm just trying to cling on to that. And I know that later on, I will receive the gift of understanding. And it's going to come. It's just not, for some of these things, it just might come later for me. And I feel like I'm getting to a place in my life where I'm okay. I'm okay with waiting. I know they're going to happen for me, you know? So I think if you have the chance, if you have the time, if you have the space, I think everybody should go to the Grand Canyon at least once. And if it doesn't happen, then God is still good. The Lord is still good.